Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time where we can relax and craft, and we work on a project together from beginning to end, and we're working on the project about an hour here every evening. So we are working tonight on the Splendid sampler quilt along, and we actually started this project over 2 years ago, and I haven't finished quilting the border yet. So I'm taking some time off of our normal project, the Charming Chevrons quilt, so I can finish this border. So we'll be stitching just some big straight line stitching in the border again tonight, and we just have two more borders after that. We got, I think, the top and one of the sides will get done today, and then the bottom and another side. And that's the plan. So, all right, I'm going to flip you guys and we'll get going. Oh, Paula, no haircut. I just have it back in like a teensy tiny ponytail. All right, guys, I'm going to flip you around. Let's get started tonight. All righty, here we go. So I've stitched 3 lines on here already, and we just need one more on this project. Oh, Connie, you give me hope that I may someday finish projects. Yeah, you know what? This the whole Finish It Friday thing that we've started, where we work on a project like the first Friday of the month. We work on just something we don't have done yet. That has been so helpful for me to start getting some projects done. Like, it just, you know, I mean, it's not the Friday today, obviously, but that little boost of working on this on Friday helped me just like, you know what, I'm going to just get this done and leave it out. So, and that the same thing happened with the hedgehog wall hanging that I was working on too. So, man, I just, you know, I guess needed a little tiny jump start on a few things. Ooh, geez, I'm not even putting the presser foot down. All right, I might have just made a problem here. Okay, good. We're still good. I'm going to start that again. I didn't put the presser foot down, and sometimes when you don't put the presser foot down, when you start sewing, it makes a huge bird nest on the back. But we're looking okay, so I'm just going to snip all these threads so they don't get in our way, and we'll try that again. Might be one of those days, we'll see. Which probably also means that I'll probably run out of bobbin today too. But we'll get it figured. All right. Just some really short stitches to get going, and then my normal stitch length. And I'm using this guide to go along a seam that I already stitched, so I can get like about a 3-inch thing. Oh, you love that I'm finishing this? Yeah, Pamela, man, me too. I just, you know, we were working on it for that Finish It Friday, and just the idea of having to fold this up and put it back in the bin, my unfinished quilt bin. Gosh, I just couldn't do it. So we're keeping it out and getting it done. So I'm using the grippets again to move things around. I don't think I put the link to that again. I'll have to update it on the YouTube page again. But it's the grippets from Sewing Mates, so sewingmates.com. We'll get you to their site. But I'm liking using it instead of the gloves with the little rubber bottoms. So this is it for this border. Is just this one last stripe, or one last seam, I suppose. Oh yay, Nancy! You're gonna finish yours now too. Awesome. But yeah, so after this one, we'll rotate and start the next one. I'm doing super basic quilting for the Splendid sampler, this project. I'm just doing these straight line stitches. You remember when you started the Splendid sampler? I missed that comment. Videos and the goal to complete the entire project. Yep, now I gotta finish it now. Yeah, I mean, we worked pretty consistently on this for a couple of years, really. But yeah, then just didn't get done with all the quilting. But projects will get done when they get done. Sometimes they just need to wait their turn a little bit. Oh, you got the grit bits there in Australia. Yay! That's awesome, Noeline. Yay, I'm so glad you were able to snag some. I love them so far. So I haven't really used the gloves, but I just don't like the idea of gloves just in general because they never fit me. And, you know, it's going to be summer, so it's going to be super hot. And I like with these, I could just, you know, stop and I have my hands available if I need to do something else or whatever. I don't have to take the gloves on and off every time. And I just, you know, pick these up and move them, and that seems fine. Oh, I'm kind of with you, Nancy. I don't want to ruin it with a messy quilting. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why I'm quilting this so simply. So I'm hoping that after the Charming Chevrons quilt, I'm using that as like a little tool to get better at quilting, hopefully. A project just for learning. So I'm hoping, the goal is that after the Charming Chevrons quilt is quilted, hopefully I'll have like the confidence to quilt a quilt in any way that I want after that. You finally bought the machine quilting book. Oh, great! And you're ready to start machine quilting. Awesome. Yep, we will be doing that soon, Connie. So to start out, though, I will be doing some straight line stitching like this on the Charming Chevrons quilt, just in, you know, it's all those zigzags. So I'll just be quilting in the zigzags with the same quilting foot, or, yeah, with a, oh gosh, what are these called now? I just blanked on the name of these feet. But I'll be using the same foot to stitch in the ditch on that. And then I think it'll be easier to do the free motion quilting because it'll be stitched down for the most part. I won't have to deal with safety pins or anything at that point, I don't think. Let's get this. A walking foot, that's what they're, oh, there you go, Terry, thanks. Man, I'm having a weird day today, and I kind of think that it's a little bit allergy-ish, a little bit. So we've had the windows open for the past few days, and it's just been gorgeous out. But today I had just a tiny hair of a sore throat. I don't have it now, but then I took a nap on the couch, which I don't know, maybe I'm doing that more. But anyway, I took a nap on the couch, and I was asleep for a few hours, and I only thought I was sleeping for like 20 minutes or so. And I was laying on the couch and talking with my husband and stuff, and then my husband actually called, and I realized that, oh, I'm not actually talking to him. I was in a dream talking to him laying on the couch. So my dream was a dream that I was sleeping on the couch and just woke up and talked to him in the house, but he wasn't actually here. He called for real, and I woke up for real. So I don't know, that was weird. So I don't know, I'm in like a half-wake, weird world right now. Guess I just needed some sleep, I suppose. Ooh, you're picking up a new machine, Nolly? Nice.
Oh, honey and lemon with a crushed aspirin. Oh, that's interesting. I think I will make some tea when I'm done here. But yeah, sometimes with allergies, I don't get it all that bad. Like, I think my dad and brother get allergies a lot more than me, and my husband does sometimes, but sometimes it'll just get me in a little weird, you know. Sometimes it's just the itchy eyes, but sometimes it's a sore throat, or it's just like brain fog a little bit, and I think that's kind of what I had today. We are almost done with this stripe, just moving the bulk along here. All right, scooch this one off. I like taking the pins off as I go. That's kind of fun. So I didn't take off any of the pins on the center area yet. So when we're done quilting, it'll be a whole de-pinning and like snipping all the threads session, I think. All right, just shortening up the stitch length again, kind of locking it in place. All right, that's done, and it looks like we had bobbin the whole way, so that's nice. All right. So that is done. That I'm gonna just lift you guys up high again. That whole side stripey is done. So here we have we did the one in the seam here, and then 1, 2, 3. So that's done. They're looking straight enough. I'm okay with it. Let's rotate again. Hopefully that's not too difficult. Grab all this bulk, get it back on my TV tray that's on my left here. All right, now we're gonna look at a few other blocks here. So, okay, so this one is gonna be easier again. I don't have to draw a line because I have the seam from the border that I can follow. So I'm gonna just follow this seam, stitch in the ditch, the entire length of this blue, and then the seam will be on the bottom too, so I can just keep stitching in the ditch. And then again, we'll use that the seam guide, that little bar, to measure the 3 inches of here. But we are ready for this next batch. Nope. Back down here. I probably should, you know, move this for quilting so it doesn't get in the way, but I'm nervous about moving it because I have it in just the spot that I want. But oh well, it's fine. Okay, so just shimmying, I'm rolling it up a little bit on this side, but here we go, there's that seam. Oh, you love the old blocks floating past, that's funny. Yeah, it's fun to see again. I can't wait to have this done and actually out and, you know, use it. All right, I'm just doing those short stitches and now making it normal length. All right, where's the grippets hiding underneath here? All right, here we go. Just following that seam. So I didn't wind multiple bobbins for this blue. So if we run out of bobbin, I'll have to take it off and wind it, which means I probably have to remove the quilt and stuff too. I don't know, we'll see. And yeah, so for the Charming Chevrons quilt, I will wind a whole pile of red thread bobbins. I'm going to take this guy off already. So I don't have to spend time winding them. Look at this guy, our little heart block. I suppose I could take these pins off as I go too. Well, there's a whole pile of them in here. I think every block has a pin in the middle. So all I did for quilting these, all I did was just, they're just sewn around. So I did just stripes going this way and then this way. Basically kind of what I'm doing for the border. So there's nothing, none of this is quilted on the inside. It's just quilted all the way around, just stitching in the ditch again, which just means stitching, you know, within the seam. So basic, but you know what? It's what I can competently do right now, and it gets the job done. So that's how I'm quilting it. But yeah, I'm stoked for the charming chevrons quilt because I wanna. It's one of these skills that have been in my brain that I want to learn how to do or get better at, and just haven't. The free motion quilting. I'd like to be able to, you know, go into here and think of fun ways to quilt just within blocks too, with the free motion quilting, not just straight lining. I don't have aspirin around, so maybe I might have to go to Target and give that a try if this stays going. But I do have lemon and honey, so I could make some tea and throw some lemon and honey in it. That sounds about perfect right now. I like this little blue border that we put in there to kind of frame it. So all of my blocks are mashed together. I didn't put any sashing in between it. Sashing is like those interior borders where you put borders in between all your blocks. I didn't do any of that for this quilt. I just kind of mashed all the blocks together. I kind of liked the colors bleeding into each other. I thought it kind of looked cool. But I did frame it with this light blue, and you know, so I got two borders, like this mini itty bitty border and then like the huge dark blue border. I guess my thinking too was that when I laid it on a bed, I wanted all the blocks to be on the top of the bed, and then the hangover, the parts that just hang over the bed are going to be just the big borders. Thought that'd be kind of fun. Man, I might actually get to use this quilt soon. That's kind of crazy thinking. You know, now that I think about it, I think this might be my first queen size quilt. So this might be the biggest quilt I've made. Ooh, this was a big learning block for needle turn applique. So all this is like tucked under by hand, this one. That one was, I think this one started out pretty sketchy and then got better along the way. Actually, maybe this one was when I did it a little. It looks pretty good. But there was one that, man, I had a lot to learn on a needle turn applique. But after a few tricks, I think I'm way better at it. And this one was fun. This one's got the little balls on the top. My mom's is done. Hers is, I think it's done. So how she did hers, she's done. It's quilted, but now she is every once in a while going back and hand quilting. I think she's just like stitching just a running stitch with some thread around the blocks, but on purpose. She's on purpose doing it as a project, just like whenever. So I think she has it on the bed in the camper. So it's fully quilted, fully bound and everything, but she's just adding that little detail work when she needs a little craft project on the road, basically. So it's a completed quilt, but it's one that's keeping on going just for the sake of having something to craft on, I think. But technically, physically, it is a completely done and being used quilt. I like this one too. I like all of them. Here's another one of those ones like we did on the Charming Chevrons where we just put scraps on together. Sewed all the scrappies. Then cut it into a block. I think I did that. Oh, I got a couple of them here. I needed to finish this rectangle. I think I needed 11 or 10 more blocks, or I think like 9 extra blocks, because I think I did a couple bonus ones, maybe 8 or 9. So I just put all the scraps together to fill in the number of squares that I still needed. And then the back is all scraps too. So this is another quilt where I used up the scraps on the back. And I don't know, I'm just totally loving doing that now. It's fun to know that like every piece of fabric is used in that quilt. All right, we are almost done with this first row. Got the border here again. I'm just gonna unclip some more guys. All right, so now I'm still following that seam from where the borders were stitched together. That's a poor place for a pin. All right. Just double check. Yep, I wanted to make sure that my back fabric wasn't tucked under by accident. All right, I'm gonna make the stitch length really short again. All right, done. And we didn't run out of bobbin yet. That's good. All right, I'm gonna scooch all this up again. And we'll get that second stripe on here. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun looking at all these guys again, like the little weird squirrel. That one I did in kind of goofy colors, but got the little dress in here, little red dress. I like these XOs. Oh, I think this is the one that I started the needle turn applique and just needed a ton of work. This one took like ages and ages because it was just so much needle turn applique. Fun! I love all these just pieced blocks too. It's going to be neat to be able to look at all this again. Yep, I am using, Shirley, I'm using dark blue thread. It's just cotton thread. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 40 weight, but I'm not like all schooled on what like weight I should be using or anything like that for thread. It's just kind of, I needed the blue and I want it to be cotton, and it's like an all-purpose thread, I think from Joann's or something. Oop, got looped around down here. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's do this next row. Get my threads out of the way here. I know, there's so much work put into this, Carol. That's why when I saw it again, I'm like, I cannot put this quilt away. It has to get done. This is insane. All right, here I got my guide out here again. So now I'm using the guide to go along that seam that we already did, and we should be, I think we're just shy of 3 inches, 3 inches out. All right. Oop. Almost dropped my grippets on the floor. I need those. Okay, here we go. So now this is the part where I'm basically keeping my eye over here. I'm not watching when I'm stitching at all, really. I'm just glancing over there every once in a while in case there's a pin or something that I need to grab. A safety pin. Ugh, and I gotta keep shushing up this side over here too. Hey, but this is border 3 that we're doing now. That's exciting. So there's just one more after this one. So hey, that's good. So tomorrow, let's see, what time is it now? Tomorrow we might get close to finishing this and the border. So by Monday, on Monday, maybe we'll just have like one more line to stitch, but I think we'll be able to stitch the binding on Monday as well. So, whew, that's exciting. Man, by next week, this whole thing could be done. That feels good. That's a long time in the making. Unpin hem. So I don't know if I will, I'm going to hand stitch the binding just because I like doing that, but I don't know if I'll hand stitch the whole thing here, but I'll spend some time hand stitching and at least getting around a border, a corner, so I can show you how I'm doing the miters and stuff. So we'll sew the binding on, and then I'll do some hand stitching, but I might not do this all of the hand stitching live here, just because that'll just take a while. And it'd be, you know, I'd like to get moving on with the Charming Chevrons quilt, get all the quilting done for that. But I will definitely do it for a little if you have any questions and stuff about the hand stitching. Ugh, scooch up. Man, I'm telling you, having that TV tray by me really is making such a huge difference. Oh, you're filling, you're stuffing all your little stuffed ladies and fellas. Gretchen, that's fun. You have to get one of those guides. I like how good. Oh, it looks. Oh, yeah. This one is actually a vintage one that I got when I went to that big yard sale, that sewing yard sale, the textile. What is it called? The world's largest textile garage sale that the textile center in town was putting on. And I actually purchased one before, but it didn't have a stopper on it, and this one does have a little stopper so it doesn't move around. But if yours does not have a stopper, you can just put some tape around it so it doesn't go back and forth like this. But yeah, I'm finding it super helpful so far. I mean, again, the one thing with it, though, is if I veer off the line, like if I would accidentally swoop like this, like if I'm following this and swoop, and my stitching would swoop, and then all of my lines after that would have that same swoop, too. So it might not be the best idea if you're doing a lot of straight line stitching. But, you know, I'm liking it so far. I'm liking it better than having to go through the process of drawing all the lines on or taping the lines. I think it would work well if I just needed it like this far and stuff. I think it's good. Oh man, Jennifer, you had a tooth pulled out. That's no fun. All right, it's getting bulky on the table here. That's what keeps stopping me. I need to shush it up a little. So it keeps moving here. Oh, it's kind of falling off my table a little bit. All right, I think I'm situated here now. Oh, I forgot. Do you see this 97? I forgot I numbered every single one of the blocks for the order that we stitched them in. So this was the 97th block right here. This was the 72nd block. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that many blocks. Sounds insane. Thanks, Shirley. Yeah, no, Aline, it'd be consistent swooping at least, exactly. So that's a good point though, like, because if you did some quilting, like you could do some pretty waves or something for quilting, and then the guide would be really good, because then you could just have them all the same swoops and stuff. That'd be kind of fun to try sometime. Quilting with, you know, and that you could do with straight line stitching or with the walking foot, just some pretty waves or something. All right, we are getting there. Oh, it's not working very well for you tonight. Sorry, Jennifer. Oh, good. It scared me for a sec. I noticed that a fold of the quilt was coming up underneath here. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I sewing another part of the quilt? I'm always petrified of, or like, you know, in the back of my head, I'm always afraid that I'm gonna, like, you know, this corner will flip underneath here, and then I'll be sewing the corner, or just sewing some other piece of the quilt underneath here, and I'll lift it up and I'll have to unpick it all. But so far we've been okay. Thanks, Rosalie. All right, we'll do the little short stitches again here. And that's another row. And man, I think we might actually get this whole side done tonight. Oops, gotta clip these first. It's going speedy, I think. I think we still have, there's still 2 more to go yet. Ugh, shimmy back up. I still think we might run out of bobbin at some point here. Oops, thread's looking goofy. All right. Right there, looks about right. Get that foot down. That's the worst, when you've been sewing for a little while and you realize that you didn't put the presser foot down. Then, you know, then you just have a whole bird's nest underneath usually that you have to snip out, which takes forever. Okay, let's do it. You know, to keep the line straight too, I am trying to adjust the quilt as I go so it's coming up towards the quilt straight. What was the thing you pulled out? Oh, the guide. I think it's just called a stitch guide. I'm not positive, but like a stitch guide bar. If you went into a sewing machine place, or even like a Joann's that has a little sewing center, they'd be able to tell you what it is. Just a stitch guide. I would call it a stitch guide bar. I'm not positive what it is though. But it's nice. It just here, I'll show you guys again. It just sticks into the back of the walking foot, and sometimes it has a stopper you know, like a little metal piece stopper so it doesn't move around like this. But if he doesn't have one, you can just put some tape around it. I think technically, you know, it's meant to go this way because then, you know, this little curved piece drags across the fabric instead. But that's like if you put it coming out the other way. Like I'm putting it out on the left side of the walking foot. You can put it out on the right side. But I'm just doing it this way so I can see it a little bit better. But yeah, so it just sticks in the little walking foot deal, that little hole. But yeah, so I just measured, I took a ruler. Yeah, all I did was I took a ruler and I put it under my presser foot, and I put the needle down against the ruler, and I just measured 3 inches out. And then just put the stopper on for 3 inches out. So that's all I did. I just put a ruler right underneath here. When you get it finished, spread it on the floor. Oh, for sure, Bonnie. I will for sure do that. We will take a look at it, and I need to snip off all of the little ends and everything. So technically, I think if you're making like a judging-worthy quilt, I think you gotta tuck in all those ends on the inside. Like everywhere where I stopped a row, there's like threads coming out here. But yeah, for a real quilt show, where they're judging like how big your stitches are and how even they are and all that sort of stuff, which, you know, clearly is not my priority. But I think for those, you got to tie them off in a little knot and then tuck them in like a certain style of knot, and then you tuck them on into the inside. They don't want you to just back tack. It's a whole thing. Which, if you really like technical stuff, then that'd be something to look into, one of those quilt shows where it's like uber judged on, you know, all the points are perfect and all that. How this quilt deserves to be signed. Yeah, you know what? I always forget to do those labels and stuff. At least with this one, I have the label that has everyone's names on, that did blocks and stuff. But yeah, you're right. I should sew in a penguin and fish label, and yeah, I should date it and stuff too, shouldn't I? Man, I gotta get better at that. Better at doing labels. So I should do one for that hedgehog thing and stuff too. So I don't know, maybe one of these weekends I'll just make a whole pile of labels for things that I've finished lately, and I don't know, hand stitch them on later or something. Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of like, oh yeah, I made that in like, you know, in 20 years I can be like, oh yeah, all the way back in 2018 is when we worked on that project. I remember that. I like having dates on it like that, but I just never do. I don't, which is kind of a bummer. I think my brain's beyond the project at that point. But yeah, I need to stick with it and add those little details at the end. Oh gosh. All right, so I've been making well, this is interesting. So this was pushed in a little bit, and so I've been sewing it just a little shy, this one. So this one is going to be one that we have a weird curve in. Ah, well. It'll just be for 1 or 2 lines. Those are the funny details that you find later. I'm like, this feels a little bit short, and sure enough, it wasn't all the way up to the stopper. I really should put some tape on this side too, so it stays in place, but oh well. So the next line is going to have that same indent, but who cares? and snip this guy. Exactly! The imperfections make it special. No, you're right, Bonnie. You'll never see it. I mean, this thread is pretty well matched to this blue fabric, and yeah, I mean, you know, if someone was looking for something wrong with this quilt, I'm thinking they'd find a whole lot of other places to focus on. So I'm not worried. Oh, look, it went out again. Great, this whole thing is going to be all over the place. But it will still be held together. Like I said, I'm having a day today. A whole pile of just like brain freezes. Non-detail freezes. All right, let's snip, and we'll do that last row now. So we're gonna get this whole side done tonight, which is cool. That means tomorrow we should be done quilting with this then. Ooh, that'll be cool. So, man, maybe tomorrow we'll even start the binding, but we'll probably leave the binding till Monday. But yeah, we'll definitely, if we're going at this rate tomorrow, I mean, one of these days we'll have to put more binding or more bobbin thread in, I'm guessing, but yeah, we're going to get this done. So really, actually, what I could do right now is put the this guy in the other way, and I could use the edge as my 3-inch mark. That might actually be a good idea. Man, I kind of don't want to mess with where I have this, though, so we'll just leave it. But I could just kind of keep an eye on this. So keep an eye on both kind of edges here. You know, so when I get to that part that's indented weird, I can be like, okay, for this time, I'm just going to eyeball it using this edge. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, assuming this is relatively straight, I could just flip this around and do it on this edge, but oh well. We have another row of this, and I don't want to remeasure. So we're just going to deal. Oh, get it up on the table. See, we're getting this crisscross though in the corners, which I think is kind of cool. Yeah, this is kind of coming out quite a bit actually. Maybe I should put some tape down on it. Yeah, with every time it goes up now, it's kind of bumping out. Yeah, I won't do that tonight, but maybe tomorrow I'll put a little piece of tape on it so it doesn't move around as much. You think it would come with stoppers on both sides, but whatever. Or stoppers, period. Yeah, Noeline, I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it tonight anymore, but yeah, tomorrow I'll throw some tape on there so tomorrow's lines end up okay. Yeah, it's moving around quite a bit. Ah, well. I'm just winging it. Yeah, the bar is shifting. There's just, I don't have tape on it to keep it in place, and it was fine the last few nights, I think, but I don't know, it's acting up a little bouncy today. Maybe I'm just stitching at just the right rate where it's moving around or something. But yeah, so tomorrow I'll do it right and put some tape on. Yeah, you can see it kind of bounce over a little bit. Yeah, I'm just eyeballing it. I mean, I got this side as a guide too, so as long as I feel like I'm sewing straightish, you know, estimating, you know, these spaces or whatever, it's gonna be fine. I can't really follow it anyway because last time the last row was crooked. But yeah, we'll tape it tomorrow. Probably should have done that from the get-go, but oh well. Gotta remove you. We are almost done. I think we're a little over halfway. That's, I suppose, what's kind of fun about, you know, free motion quilting, like meandering or something, is you don't have to have like perfect straight lines that are visible. You can just keep swirling around and it all looks like you were meant to do it. Ooh, it's feeling bulky here. Okay, hopefully the fabric wasn't bunching up too weird on the back. Oh, thanks, Nolene. Yeah, I think it's going to be just fine. Exactly. A design adjustment. Almost there. Yeah, here's a big jog in it. I'm trying to avoid that. All right. Whoop! Drop my grip it. All right, that's it for this side. We have a tish of time yet. I think maybe maybe I will put that tape on tonight so we can get it all prepped for tomorrow. Have you sorted out the feed dogs yet? I have not. Oh, Gretchen or Helen, thanks for bringing that up again. Yeah, no. Man, I wonder if I should bring it in before then. Well, we're going to be doing a lot of straight line stitching first, and I do have another project that I want to do before we do the free motion stuff. I still want to do that sketchbook cover, and that'll be coming up, so I'm working that out now, the sketchbook cover stuff. But yeah, so we'll need the feed dogs for a little bit because we'll be using the walking fit for a while, so maybe I can bring this in and try and get them to fix it. I opened up the whole bottom and tried to get it so the feed dogs would lower. Like, I'm supposed to just be able to lower this, and they're supposed to lower. But, like, mechanically underneath, it didn't look, I don't know, it wasn't working quite right. Like a piston thing wasn't pulling out all the way, or I don't know, something was not quite right. So I think it was something I couldn't figure out myself, so I think I'm going to have to bring it in. But yeah, I'm supposed to just lower this and the feed dogs go away. So for free motion quilting, we don't want the feed dogs because the feed dogs pull the fabric along as we sew, and we don't want that pulling for free motion. I want it totally free. So yeah, I've been trying to lower the feed dogs, but I don't think it's working. It's not functioning right. So yeah, I think I'll have to bring that in. All right, we just have one more row here, one more border. So okay, I'm gonna try and let's get some tape on here. I'm just gonna put a little piece of tape. So this side, if I go around on this side, it has this little guy slider on it. So this is from a vintage machine. So I think this, you can see it kind of has a fork. Let's try and get way down in here. It has like this little fork. I think this was supposed to be on, like I can put it on here, but on a walking foot, I can't do that. So if I would attach it through there, then it wouldn't be sliding around really. But since I am putting it on a walking foot, and in a walking foot you put it through that little hole in the back, since I am putting it on a walking foot, I am just going to put a little piece of tape there. Oh yeah, sewing and talking. That's probably a good reason why not all my lines are all that straight and stuff. So all right, I'm just looking for some tape here. I thought I had some, well, I have some painter's tape. Thought I had some washi tape too. All right, well, I can't find, oops, sorry for bumping you. I can't find my cute washi tape, so I'm just gonna use just some painter's tape, which is probably better. It'll probably be easier to take off. I don't know, this is probably something I should put a straight edge on, but let's just see what happens here. So I'm just kind of wrapping it around this little edge. So it's being held by the little fork thing on the other side. I just need it to stay in place on this side without getting in my way, hopefully. There, I think that'll do. That will do. So that will be all ready tomorrow, and it's moving freely yet, which is good. And it's just bumping in a little, but not enough for it to like affect things. So okay, good. So I have it rotated already for tomorrow too. One thing we could do quick as well. I want to, I just want it. We have a little bit of time, so I want to just get as ready as I can. So this is another border that doesn't have the seam, because the seam was going this way when we sewed the borders together. So I need to draw a ruler line up there. So we could do that now already. So it's out of our hair. Straighten out here a little bit. Oh yeah, rubber band. That would have been a good idea too. That would have worked well. You can get some of those like itty bitty like hair tie rubber bands. That would have been good. I think I actually have some of those too. Oh well. I had tape on hand. All right, so I'm just kind of drawing a straight line, straightish line, I suppose, from where I have this lighter border seam. And again, I'm just I don't have any pencil lead in here right now. I just want the nubbin here. I'm just gonna crease the fabric a little bit versus marking it, just because one less step later. So there we go. I have kind of a little line pressed in here. So I'll start on that line for our first thing tomorrow, and let's do the other side right away. So that's done. Ugh, and we can shimmy all this back. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. Then we'll be all prepped for tomorrow. We got a whole pile of pins to take out. That'll be fun. Okay, that's straightish, I'd say. giving it a little crease. If you have a bone folder, you could use that instead of this little pencil, but this seems to be working fine. All right, there, I kind of have that little crease, just enough so I can see it. That's all I need. So awesome. I will shimmy this up, get it all on, get you guys up high here. I'm going to put it on my, what is it called again? The TV tray that's right next to me here. That's been such a big help. Way bigger help than I thought as far as holding the bulk of the fabric as I stitch, as I sew. Oh gosh, I'm caught here. Oh man, I'm really caught. Ah, there we go. All right, and that's it. We will get that going tomorrow. I'm happy we're gonna get this guy done. All right, I'm gonna flip you guys around and we'll call it an evening here. All right, see, it's all stacked here next to me on the side table, the TV tray. I have a foldable TV tray right here that's the same height as my table, which is nice. I wish my, I wish I was using one of those sewing tables where my machine was sunken, so I'm flush with the table. That would have been better, but it's working fine with my adjustable extension table here. And yeah, but this tray here is really helping a ton. So yeah, we'll get this border done tomorrow, and I already have the binding made. It's just not sewn on, so I'm just assuming that it's measured correctly. I'm not going to remeasure it or anything. I'm assuming we did that right the first time, and we'll get that going too. I don't think we'll get that unless this goes so fast tomorrow that we have a bunch of time. I don't think we'll do that till Monday. We might just wait till Monday anyway, where we're fresh and yeah, fresh for a new week and can focus on the binding. But yeah, we'll get the border stitched tomorrow and binding on Monday, and we'll be done with this quilt, which is crazy. So awesome. Thanks for bearing with me while I finish this up. I couldn't bear to put it away again, but I'm happy. We're getting it done. So I'll get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies if you wanted to watch the replay there. And I will be here again tomorrow evening at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So thanks again, guys. Have a great evening or day if you're in the future. And see you tomorrow. Good night.